So let's talk about getting a puppy, getting a dog from right around 8 weeks old or so. First of all, what's the main pro and con to getting a puppy? I mean, there's the obvious ones. Which puppies can be quite a bit of work, right? If you're going to do it right, you're really going to have to you're going to have to work. They're going to keep you busy a little while. Not that adult dogs don't do that either. I mean, they certainly can. But puppies, they can be a handful. Everybody knows that. But the main pro to getting a young puppy is that they're a clean slate, right? They really haven't been alive long enough to develop too many bad habits. Sure, there can be some that they develop from hanging out with their litter mates and their mom, but overall, it's not going to be very well established, more than likely. Sometimes some things can be, but not usually, right? They're very clean slate, and you don't have any uphill battles to fight, right? They don't have any baggage with them like an adult dog can have sometimes. So that's the main benefit of getting a puppy. You can really nurture a lot with them. There's going to be, of course, a huge nature component to them, but you can nurture a lot because, once again, they're clean slates. That's the main pro. The main con to getting a puppy is that their personality, their traits, everything about them can change quite a bit as they get older. Really, a dog's personality and traits don't really solidify until right around a year old. Sometimes a little sooner, sometimes later, a little later, but generally speaking, it's right around a year old. Whenever you see your dog or see a dog at about a year old, what you see is what you get for the most part. That's who they are. What that means is that if you select a puppy that kind of rowdy and you're looking for a high energy, rowdy, prey drivey puppy or dog, and they look like that as a puppy, there's no guarantee they're going to be like that whenever they're older. They could very well do a complete 180 on you, and by the time they're a year old, they're super lazy, don't have a lot of energy at all. That can totally happen, and that happens a lot, frankly. And the vice versa. You could see the exact opposite of that. You could pick out the lazy puppy because you wanted a lazy dog. And now he grows up and he's super drivey on like all fronts, right? So that can also happen. So the main con of getting a puppy overall is that you honestly have no idea what you're getting. Uh, it could play out in any way. You could have a lazy puppy, get a lazy dog. You could get a lazy puppy, have a high energy dog. You can have a high energy puppy, high energy dog, high energy puppy, low energy dog, right? Nothing is really solidified. And you won't really know till about a year old. But once again, there's a lot of time for you to nurture them and train them to be a certain way. However, there's typically a limit. That limit is really going to be decided by their nature and their genetics, and that's going to unfold as they mature. So, yeah, the main con with getting a puppy is you don't really know what you're going to get. So with all that being said, how do you evaluate a puppy, or how do you do your best guess with a puppy, right? So if you're wanting to get a young puppy, how do you more than likely pick the one that's going to fit your life the easiest or the best, right? Honestly, the best thing you could do is look at the parents. Look at the mom, look at the dad, look at the litter of puppies, and watch and observe, check out how they are. Are they anxious? If both parents are anxious, likely a lot of puppies are going to have anxiety problems too. Are they aggressive? See aggression issues, right? If they're super social, very middle of the road, all the traits that you would look for in an adult dog, just look at the parents and compare. If both parents are a certain way, then likely the puppy is going to be that way as well. That's not a guarantee either. It really getting a puppy is a complete roll of the dice. Like I said, you really don't know. There's no guarantees with puppies. Not even the breeders can tell you for sure. All they really know is the dog's bloodlines, so the genetic lines that are in it, and what those dogs have turned out to be like. And based on that, they can say with a certain amount of certainty that the puppies are likely going to turn out that way when they're older. And that's all that can really be said. So as far as evaluating a puppy goes, it's not so much about evaluating a puppy as it is about evaluating the parents. That's really what you want to do. Now, the main thing with puppies, maybe some little things, is you just want to keep an eye on any behaviors coming from a puppy that isn't puppy-like, right? So what you want to see is the puppy interacting with mom and other litter mates in very classic puppy fashion, just roughhousing and just being bouncy, playful puppies. As long as you see that, that's all normal stuff, right? What you want to look out for is any deviations from that. So if you see a puppy, kind of in the corner, staying away from everybody, they seem really antisocial for some reason. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but it could be an indication that there's some sort of social issue going on there. But that, like I said, that doesn't necessarily mean anything. That dog could be just fine. That puppy could be just fine and will be completely fine whenever they're an adult. So that doesn't mean anything. But there's a deviation there. There's something a little bit off there. So there's a chance that there's something genetic going on there, a little bit more so than maybe the other puppies. Or if you see a puppy that's super possessive already, so that can be a little bit more of a learned behavior, but the fact that they even figured that out at such a young age can be an indication that they're going to be a bit more possessive dog whenever they're older. So, let's say a young puppy learns that if they growl and they get nasty with his litter mates, he gets to keep whatever it is he's got, right? And if the mama dog doesn't really check that, or none of the other puppies challenge him on that, then he's going to learn at a very young age that acting that way gets him what he wants. And so that can also be a bit of a red flag. If you don't want to deal with a ton of possessiveness, that's probably a puppy you want to pass on. But other than that, if you see normal, playful puppy behavior and you know the parents and what they behave like, you can take a pretty good guess as to what the puppies are going to be like, but there's no guarantee. So that's how I would evaluate a puppy.